We are up for game 2 of the doubleheader here. Welcome to Derrick Keller Field. And how appropriate that Jason Keller, no relation, will lead it off for the Orioles. Orioles are the visiting team here in game 2 of the doubleheader. And if you just joined us, we had a great one in the first game. And this is Josh Loken. Josh Loken pitching game 2. There's been a change. So Loken going to pitch for them. And for Loken, the senior, this is his second game of the year. I don't have official stats, but bear with us. And Jason Keller, great game in the first game. If you just joined us, 4-2, the Orioles took it on the chin, but Jason went 3 for 4 and scored a run in the first game. So, and the sun has come out again, and Jason Keller goes down on strikes. Low throw. Ooh, he almost reached on that. 2 umpiring crew today, as it looks like Anderson behind the plate for game 2 with Grabowski at first base. And the sun is out. That's what you see the reflecting off of our camera here. Paul, I apologize. I could not find anybody to announce game 2, or I would have been able to to help out with the camera. But unfortunately, wasn't able to find a volunteer. So I'm going to just be the announcer by myself. We just have a 2-camera shoot for this game, which should be suffice. And then with Paulie having the center field camera, here's Joey Jaramillo, who had 2 knocks in the first game and did a nice job in the 7th inning closing. The kids had a chance to have some sandwiches between games, take some more swings. And it looks like a nice night to finish off here. So, joined by a VIP from the area. Jay, how are you? And there's Cash stopping by. Just some VIPs from the local area here joining us for game 2 as they walk Cash the dog, and I'm going to have to be bringing my car in, I think, on Monday. Did you see the front end damage? That's what I might be. You'll notice in the back seat there as Joey Jaramillo goes down and swings. You'll notice in the back there that I have the bumper and it's ready to be affixed if we can figure out part of that. Or I'll see you on Monday. Nice to meet you. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Joe Burnley to lead it off, the third batter of the first inning here. Always tough when you start a second game of a doubleheader. You got to make sure you get some nutrition. This is a Friday night, so these kids had school all day. And normally you wouldn't play twinighters on a Friday, but with what's happened with the season, you got to do whatever you can to get the games in. So strike 2 on the swing here. And for 26, Josh Loken looking to strike out the side here. So peeled foul here. We mentioned the first game, officially 4-2, Irondale gets the win. They moved to 4-2 on the season. St. Louis Park with the loss, their first of the year. But really a well-played game, great contact by the Orioles. This is also a conference game, though. This is a road game for St. Louis Park. That one hit hard towards short. Ball banged into the shortstop hole. Burnley going to motor with speed. And indeed, the out is registered as the shortstop, Jake Marinovich, with a nice throw all the way over to first and a nice squeeze by Ben Danielson over at first base. Some position changes in the second game for Irondale, but we believe, by and large, the same lineup. So, and there you see the sun. We hope it becomes a good friend. Couple of changes defensively for the Orioles in game 2. Doing the catching in the second game, I want to make sure I throw a shout out. Adam Pettit going to get his first start of the year behind the dish for St. Louis Park. Adam Pettit catching. And then the right-hander, Kenny Ferrulli, who threw 2 innings in game 1, coming right back. He threw so many strikes, but he only threw 21 pitches. So he's going to get the start in game 2. He pitched the 5th and 6th inning of the first game and did not allow a hit. Allowed 1 hit. Did have 2 double plays turned behind him, so he only threw, actually, I apologize, he only threw 19 pitches in 2 innings. So definitely not a tired arm when you only threw 19. Ferrulli, a junior right-hander, adorned in the sunglasses. Kenny, really a great young man. Got a chance to know him the last several years as my son is friends with him. And really a great strike thrower. Worked a lot with Coach Olson in the offseason. And I know he's excited about getting his first conference start today. Looks like leading it off for Irondale in game 2. They're going to start off again with number 21, Ben Bookie, who's going to lead it off. And then their second pole hitter is going to be the same. That's Noah Espicist. So, Paul, it looks like you could put the same lineup up for the graphics if you want that you had for game 1. Lineup-wise, Bookie, Espicist, Danielson, Marinovich, and Livengood. At least the first 6 are exactly the same as we saw in game 1. So, shout out to our crew, including Misty, for covering 2 games tonight. Normally, it makes a long day for everybody, but there's a lot of legwork involved in setting up the cameras, etc. So, kind of in some ways, it's nice to do the doubleheader. There you see Bookie, Espicist, and Danielson. I believe it's Marjanovic. I'm not sure if he's going to play short. We might have some position changes here, but Booth, Black, Loken, and Grabowski. Loken, as I mentioned, Loken doing the pitching in this game. Danielson is playing first base. Those are 2 changes I'm aware of. And here is Bookie for the bottom of the first inning. Bookie in game 1 officially with a 1-for-4 with a strikeout and a single to left center. So a 1-2-3 first by Loken as he sets down Keller, Jaramillo, and Burnley. And there's a nice breaking ball, a little bit high here. Orioles, as we mentioned, not often do you have a 4:30 game on a Friday and then you come right back with a nightcap, but then they're going to hit the school bus tomorrow and take the show over to Armstrong. So doubleheader against Armstrong and South, and by tomorrow afternoon, the Orioles will have doubled their amount of games. They will have gone from 4 to 8 on the season. So that one popped foul and out of play. So other changes. I want to make sure everybody's aware. Go to Minnesota Baseball Hub. It's MN Baseball Hub. MNBaseballHub.com for all the park stats, schedules. And there's a slow curve hit to Ferrulli, who fields his position beautifully. Beautiful throw over to first. And for the junior Ferrulli, he was quick as a cat bouncing off the mound to register the 1-3 putout and put Bookie down there. So nice job by Kenny. Kenny's played other sports growing up, but he's focused on baseball and pitching and playing third the last few years. So, and here's one of the stars of game 1, Noah Espicist, the senior. We talked, there's a nice slow breaking ball for strike 1. Espicist really with a nice job on those 2, one a beautiful diving catch and another catch in right. And then he hit a line shot all the way to the fence that almost got out of here if the weather would have been a little different. It'll need a little more oomph on it. So, but Ferrulli with that off-speed arsenal works ahead at 0-2. And Espicist, as we mentioned. Another slow breaking ball. Nice here as well for Adam Pettit to get some work behind the dish. Pettit also another junior catcher. He's the backup to Kyle Nordstrom. Flashes the signals. Nice slow breaking ball, and that's going to do it for the second out of the inning. So then the Ferrulli curve creates a strikeout, and that's 2 down here. So 2 down is Ferrulli going to do that. And here's Ben Danielson, who caught the first game, did some really good work behind the dish for the junior. And then Danielson as well, officially credited with a 1-for-2. He had 2 hit. He reached base all 4 times, a hit, an error, and 2 hit batters. So 1-for-2 officially, but you don't often get on base all 4 times. So here is Danielson, the junior, wearing number 34, playing first base today. Ferrulli again ahead 0-1. There's the slow changeup, hit hard to third base. Nice job by Lucas Savage, throw, and a nice try on a scoop, but it was a short throw, and that's an infield single we're going to register here. It's a nice play by Lucas Savage on the backhand. You watch, there's a nice job. He does plant well, throws well, just doesn't quite have the strength to reach it. And it was a nice job by Fultz to try to come up with what was a really tough short hop. So Danielson on for the 5th time again. And that'll bring up number 3, Michael Beath. A little change in the order. Beath played game 1 as well. He hits that high and deep towards left field. That's over the head of Greenbush. That's deep. And that is out to left field. I'm going to have second and third on that water ball, as that was hit high and deep to left field, and Beath, who really unloaded on that, the senior Beath. We'll see if we can watch the replay of that. That ball landed in the water. Ball landed deep, I would say probably about 315 feet in left field, and landed with a thud into left center. So the good news for Ferrulli is it's still just second and third, 2 out, and he can go from the windup as he faces the night's pitcher in Josh Loken. Loken officially in the first game officially was 0 for 3 as he reached base twice on errors and hit a fly to center. That one hit hard to short. Backhand attempt by Jaramillo, got plenty of time. Nice soft throw, and that'll do the trick, 6-3. So no damage on the single and the double with 2 outs, and a nice play by Jaramillo at short. So that'll do it here for 1 inning, as we're, once again, St. Louis Park is the visiting team in game 2, because this is a split doubleheader in that the teams had rained out previously twice, so they decided to play the Friday night doubleheader. Park got the home game for game 1. Irondale gets the home game for game 2. But most importantly, now that the sun's out, at least they're getting a chance to play. So Josh Loken, as we mentioned, a 1-2-3 first inning. I believe, I don't have the official stats on Loken, the starter for them, but it's the first start of the, I believe it's his first start of the year and his second appearance. So he's got a big, strong, stocky frame. Looks like Lucas Savage. Looks like the same order for Park, by the way, if you want to flash that up, Paulie. I'm just taking a look at the on-deck circle. Lucas Savage, Olson, Lucas Savage, Greenbush, Olson are 4, 5, 6. So here's where we are in the order. Lucas Savage will lead off. He's playing third. Greenbush, then Olson, who's playing, I believe Olson's DHing this game. And then the only change that I noticed was instead of Nordstrom catching, you've got Adam Pettit catching. So pretty much you saw Keller, Jaramillo, and Burnley go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first on strikes. And Lucas Savage, who again playing third in the second game, went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in the first game. And then you got Kurt Greenbush on deck. So take a look and we'll get some updated stats for you here. So a little Friday night fun at Derrick Keller Field on Friday, May 2nd. As the boys going to get game 2 in of their doubleheader. Nice curveball by Loken to start it off, and he's done nothing but throw strikes early on here. So I believe officially in the first inning I had him for 2 strikeouts, but he only threw 11 pitches. So, and now he's 0-1 on the curve to Lucas Savage to start off the second. Has the makings of a quick game, so. That fastball hit hard towards right center field. We'll see if Lucas Savage can get on the horse. Nice job by the center fielder. Going to cut that off. He comes up hard throw, and throw comes through, and Lucas Savage able to beat that out with a nice line drive double to right center. And indeed, unfortunately for them, Grabowski in center field with good speed cut it off, but wasn't able to make a clean throw into second. There you see Lucas Savage hustling all the way. Grabowski with the water out there. He has to make sure he has his footing, turns, throws, fires, throw a little offline. It would have been a bang-bang play, and that'll bring up Greenbush. Kurt Greenbush, the senior. Greenbush on the first game, 0 for 3, made contact all 3 times. Little check swing on one of the bats, and then he had a deep fly to center. As we mentioned, Kurt 11 for 15 on the season going into game 1, so he's still 11 for 18, hitting over 600. So pretty nice to be able to go 0 for 3 and have your average fall from 733 to 625. Yeah, so Kurt trying to pick up fellow hockey player and baseball player Lucas Savage at second. Archie Olson in the on-deck circle. Lucas Savage might have been a hit and a run here. I'm not sure. You don't often see that with a runner at second and no out. He took off with the pitch. Greenbush swung like it might have been a hit and run or a steal and run, depending on what the coach decided to call. So 1-1 the count to Greenbush here. Curtis wearing number 16. We mentioned the Orioles donned in their brand new jerseys. Ooh, that one peeled foul. So Kurt down 1-2 in the count. Let's see how he battles back against the senior Loken. Didn't get any official stats for the game for Irondale, and they made a late change. I thought they were going to pitch Grabowski, but they decided to pitch Loken. I'm not sure if they have a makeup game tomorrow now, too. Nice strike three on that curveball. Beautifully done. So nicely done on that curveball to lock up Greenbush for a called third strike. And that'll bring up Archie Olson. There you see Arch, who started it and went 4 innings in game 1. Archie 1 for 3, had the check swing single, came around to score. Also flew out to right and went down on strikes called. There's a line shot to right. Going to be foul, though, but he made good contact with it. Any kind of a line drive, looks like they're going to play the infield back up the middle and concede the early run, as there's just one out here. So just need some contact. Loken going from the windup here. Take a look at the really pronounced open stance that he has, and watch him close that front foot as he picks it up and sets it down. Just misses on that one. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice job spoiling that one. And that one just kind of sat on that outside corner there for Loken. We mentioned in the first game that 6 of the 10 players that we're seeing time, and that includes the DH slot, were seniors for them. Park just kind of in the reverse. It's just Foltz, Lucas Savage, and Greenbush that are seniors, and everyone else is a junior or sophomore that plays. That one hit hard up the middle. Lucas Savage breaks on contact. Unfortunately for him, the ball was hit right back to the pitcher, and Luca with not a good read on that. When the ball's hit right back at the pitcher, although he might have had the contact play on, so Tommy Spaeth going to give him and indeed maybe that's what Coach Nunn had with the contact play. And maybe when the bobble was made, Luca thought it was enough of a bobble where he could score. But nice job by the pitcher Loken there to recover and indeed throw that ball home to make sure, and Beeth doing the catching. So Olson reaches on a fielder's choice, and Orioles lose a runner from third on a 1-2 putout for the second out. So now line shot that time as Danny Foltz, who usually bats right-handed. I have seen him hit left-handed growing up, some DHing, but Danny going to hit from the left side, and maybe he's been working a lot on his switch hitting, I assume. He and I know Greenbush are great friends and probably spent a lot of time in the last 2 weeks, 2 months in the cage. So Danny Foltz at first, going to little breaking ball. Now it'll push the ball to a ball and 2 strikes. So Danny Foltz in that 7 hole for Foltzy. 1-2 of the count here with 2 down in the top of the second inning. Orioles are the visiting team in this game. That one is wide. Archie going to stay put at first, but Beeth going to try to throw behind him. Throws it down to Danielson. So Danielson, who caught the first game, now playing first for Irondale in game 2. And Beeth, who played third base in game 1, now catching. So both teams letting another guy get a chance to catch. Has more than 7 innings in a day. There's a little slow roller hit to short. Just going to step on it and out registered there. So Danny Foltz hitting left-handed, hit the chopper to short, and he's retired on a 6-4. Archie Olson cut down on a 6-4 putout. So an inning and a half in the books. No runs on 1 hit. Lucas Savage cut down at home plate on the contact play. Otherwise, nice double to lead off the inning for Lucas Savage, but unfortunately not able to get him around after he was at third base with no outs. That's really, we'll see if that comes back to bite the Orioles. So no runs on 1 hit officially for St. Louis Park in this game. And for Irondale in this game, no runs on 2 hits. So no runs on 1 hit for St. Louis Park, no runs on 2 hits. Ferrulli back for second inning of this game and fourth inning of the day. Kenny officially on the day now has thrown 3 innings and given up the 3 hits. So we're going to step away after this half inning, but we remind you that this is game 2 of the North Suburban doubleheader tonight, brought to you by Park 16 Sports. If you want to get a copy of this game or any of the games that Paul and Misty and I do, go to, I don't know if Paul has the graphic up, but feel free to go to, there you go to parktv.org or call 952-924-2635. You can always get a copy, and remember that you don't necessarily have to have cable. DVDs are $15 if you want them per game, or if you buy 3 or more, they're 10 a piece. And I'm assuming, Paul, that if they want both ends of the doubleheader, that's a good deal too. So make sure you go to parktv.org. There's a YouTube channel that all these games will be put up probably by Monday this weekend. You'll be able to watch them on the YouTube channel too. Monday night, yeah, that sounds good. Otherwise, look for the replay times next Monday. So, all right, leading off the bottom of the second inning for the Knights. Here's the 6th place hitter for them. This is number 10 for Irondale. This is Scotty Black. Called the Scotty Black name a lot in game 1, as Scotty as well had a chance to bat 4 times. He officially reached only once. He was 0 for 3. He scored a run. 0 for 3, scored a run for Scotty Black. So we mentioned Park out hit the Knights 9-7 in game 1, even though they lost the game 4-2. That doesn't happen a lot in high school baseball, but 13 strikeouts by Jacob Goldsmith, and no walks will do it. Nice strike again as Ferrulli works back to 2-2. Yeah, that was really wonderful to see Goldsmith control the strike zone so well, but yet Park, as the game went on, they really made some good contact and did hit several balls clean. That ball hit hard, but right at Burnley in center. And Scotty Black going to be retired for the 5th time of the day. So Black with a liner to center here, and that'll lead off the bottom of the second and first out for them. Nice job on the squeeze. Hopefully, as the day goes on, or the night goes on, the water continues to go into the water. I should mention Curtis Greenbush out in left field in game 2. Greeny with some good speed just DH'd in the first game, but they're going to get him a chance to get some reps out in left field. He's playing a little bit more towards left center, which leads me to believe that perhaps the water has retreated a little more into the ground there, so hopefully that's the case. Ferrulli just keeps firing strikes up there. 1-1 is the count this time to number 7. This is Kyle Livingood. You got to be living good. Livingood hard up the middle. That's going to be clean for a single. So Livingood with a 1-out single up the middle. Nicely hit hard ground ball for Livingood in game 1. I should mention that during game 1 for Kyle. He officially went 1 for 3. He was hit by a pitch, and he did single in the first inning. Struck out once looking, which was an important out in the second inning. And that'll bring up number 6. This is Tony Grabowski. Grabowski, who is an excellent pitcher we mentioned, who's going to Northern Iowa Area Community College. Grabowski played center in the first game. And he's one of the few guys that has the high socks. You don't see that. He's got his pants pulled way up high, so you can see the nice maroon in the Irondale pants real well. So there you see Grabowski. He as well with a slightly open stance. Fastball hit high and hit pretty deep to right field, but a nice squeeze on the catch and 2 outs. Good contact that time, but got under it plenty on the fly to right. So that's 2 down as Grabowski flies to right. Nice job on the catch out there. I believe that's TJ Rempfer who does the squeeze job. TJ played in left field in game 1, and I believe that's him in right. I'm having a hard time reading the... I don't think that's Keller. I think that's TJ. So throw through by Pettit. Oh, just a little high. Nice job on the drop tag. Adam Pettit, very accurate throw. Throws through, and a nice job on the tag that time, but not able to get the out registered. on the sweep tag. Good camera coverage. Beautiful work there by our Park 16 staff. Patrick Bordewick tried to drop the tag there, but unfortunately Livengood with a straight steal. First stolen base I think we've seen of the day. That one shot back high at Bordewick. Going to stay with it. Take his time. Nice throw and a nice scoop that time on the low throw by Fultz. So nicely done as a 4-3 putout is going to move us through 2 innings here. No runs on 1 hit. We're through 2 here at St. Louis Park. Orioles, the visiting team in game 2. We're going to step away here on Park 16. Stay with us here. Scoreless after 2.
Hi, I'm Ben Affleck, and many actors have played the part of U.S. servicemen in the movies. But for veterans like James Crosby, their service and their sacrifice are real. And too often when they come home, their struggle continues. For over 60 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has been fighting to help our injured veterans get the benefits they need and have earned.
Paralyzed Veterans of America was there for me when I came home.
Join me in supporting our paralyzed veterans. Visit pva.org.
Yeah, well, each game has to be burned separately. But when we also have replays, you can watch on the internet. There's information on the website of how come Monday night we'll have them up for replay. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we are back here at Keller Field, just exchanging some information with one of the Knights fans on how they can watch the replays. Remember to go to ParkTV.org if you want to watch the replays or purchase a DVD. If you don't live in St. Louis Park, So Loken on for inning 3 here, and it's been a quick first 2 innings, and this is Patrick Bordewick to lead it off, hitting in the 8th hole. And it looks like Bordewick going to take strike 2 as well. As I tell you what, Josh Loken done nothing but burning strikes in their first 2 innings. I had a total of 4 balls thrown in the first 2 innings by him. Oh, there he proves he's human and he throws a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on the sophomore Bordewick, who made a nice play at second to close last inning on the 4-3 putout. There's a nice, and just as you would expect, neither of these teams have played in a week, and with everybody sitting inside and then facing a lot of strike throwers and quality pitching, you're not going to have big scores. The pitching and defense is probably what's going to give you the wins. So, and Irondale with a quality team that's popped up on the infield. Just a can of corn for Danielson there, as he's going to register that out for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Kenny Ferrulli, number 5, getting a chance to bat this game. Ferrulli pitched 2 innings in game 1, but the junior third baseman pitcher who's pitching today getting a chance to bat. Try to get you some updated stats on some of these young men. They see Ferrulli. Small crouch as he perches a Loken, delivers strike 1 again. Ferrulli being supported by his family well tonight, including sister Kylie. Dons the sunglasses. The sun is out tonight. And Kenny hits it hard to first. Oh, Danielson with a nice backhanded play on the 3 unassisted. So for Ben Danielson, first 2 hitters give him some business, and that'll take us to the top of the order where Jason Keller batting again for the 5th time of the day. 3 for 4 in game 1. He went down swinging to start off the game. As we mentioned, Jason, real good 2-sport athlete, basketball, starting player on the basketball team this year as a junior. Good crowd on hand on both sides. There's got to be, 60, 70 people at least here, 75 people, if not more. And a lot of people weren't aware, if you go to the Go Park website, you're not really aware of the changes because things are changing day to day on when teams are playing. So Keller with a 2-0 count to start things off here. That one chop, and we might have a record tied as all 3 balls get hit to Danielson and he sticks with it. And I'll tell you what, Paul, I don't know if you believe in threes or deja vu, but the top of the third inning, all 3 outs registered 3 unassisted, guys. That's kind of unusual. So threes were wild in the top of the third inning, and for Ben Danielson, I know he's got a 3 in his jersey, but he may want to get rid of the 4 the rest of the game because 3 might be his lucky number. So there you see officially as we're through 2.5, just 1 run, just 1 hit given up by Josh Loken. That hit early on. And the Knights will come to bat. Irondale, the home team for game 2 here, in case you're wondering. Game 1, St. Louis Park was the home team. Remember, if you get a chance, I don't know if we have a graphic for it, Paulie, but a couple people have come up about where do they find out about the updated game schedules for different park events. And sports fans, go to gopark.org. GoPark.org is the website for the high school. Once again, gopark.org. And if you click on the high school athletic office website, then you can click on spring events and calendars and go to the North Suburban website. It'll have all the new times. With all the rainouts in softball and baseball and even track and field and lacrosse, there's been a lot of changes. I know, Paul, I don't think we've covered lacrosse. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you've covered lacrosse for Benilde, but I don't think we've covered one of the girls' lacrosse games yet, but hopefully we'll get to do that in May. And so make sure you utilize that website. So bottom of the third inning, and we're back here to the top of the order for Knights. And indeed, it is Ben Bookie. I like that name. I used to know somebody who was a bookie named Mark Stoneking. Well, that's dating myself, but no relation. And we're not endorsing gambling. I don't want to say that. So anyway, Bookie the junior led off first game and led off with a comebacker back to Ferruli to start the game. Ferruli working ahead again here. I should say 1-1 is the count. Gets ahead with that breaking ball. So the top of the order, Bookie, Espeseth, and Danielson for Irondale. In case you've noticed, umpires are allowing the pitchers to go to their mouth to get some moisture on their fingers with a cold night and to maintain grip on the ball. So that pushed the count to a ball and 2 strikes, as indeed the first 2 pitches were strikes. Two and two the count as the junior. St. Louis Park really with a lot of youth in the pitching core, especially. We talked about Archie Olson being a junior, Ferruli's a junior, Joey Jaramillo, Jason Keller, Bordewick. As that ball hit hard to Batrick, just a 3-hopper, easy chuck over to first, and nice job on another ground ball registered. So Bookie with the first out, and that'll bring up Espeseth. Struck out swinging on a curveball when he was down 0-2 in his first at-bat. Nice little play defensively. Orioles pretty sound around the field. We talked about Danny Foltz's defense in Game 1 and those 3 good plays he made. And you've got Greenbush who can play some first as well as outfield. Jaramillo, a slick fielder last year as a second baseman. This year at short. And then Bordewick with a nice clean glove over at first. Played a lot of baseball growing up with a lot of these kids, and his older brother Jack was a real good baseball player at St. Louis Park who graduated a few years ago. So Ferruli, for the first time today, falls behind here as he's 3-0 in the count with 1 out. We'll see if Espeseth takes here. Just 1 down. First. A fastball going to float on that inside corner and make it 3-1. Noah hitting second in the order as he did in the first game, went 2 for 3. He almost hit one out in the first game as he hit a line shot all the way to the fence towards the Derrick Keller sign. That one high and is chased foul out of play. Lucas Savage not with a play on it, so Ferruli fighting back here to bring the count full. Nice slow curve, and he gets him off balance. Popped into right. Might be no man's land, but indeed, Patrick Bordewick maneuvers out there as Jason Keller was tiptoeing through the tulips of the water out there. I don't know if we have a chance to see that, but Keller really heard Patrick calling that all the way. Normally your right fielder would come charging in, but with the wet grass, probably just as well that he... Nice pitch executed on a full count there to Esposito as he went to the breaking ball and got him off balance and to just pop out to second base. So, and here's Ben Danielson on base 5 times today. Almost gets hit by a pitch for the 3rd time. He's been on all 5 times today. 2 singles, an error, 2 hit batters for the 3-hole hitter Danielson, the junior. A little slightly open stance. You'll notice a lot of the guys will lift the front foot and then just set it down. And that one's fought off towards center field. Jaramillo scoots over and makes a nice running catch on that. And that'll be a 1-2-3 third, top of the 3rd, as Ferrulli getting some good defensive support that time as Joey Jaramillo shows off his good wheels at shortstop and catches that, as he's the only one really who had an angle, and Patrick Bordewick let his partner have that one. So we're through 3 here as we get ready to enter the top of the 4th. The line scores are correct. No runs on 1 hit for St. Louis Park and no runs on 3 hits for Irondale. I have officially through 3 innings that Ferrulli, and I may be mistaken here, but I have officially through 3 innings. I have officially that he's only thrown 34 pitches through 3 innings. Which, if that's the case, even with his first game effort of 2 innings, he should have plenty of life left in his arm. And just as well for Josh Loken, he only threw 11 pitches in the 1st inning. 14 in the 2nd, that's 25. And he officially only has 32 pitches through 3 innings. So these guys are... I don't know if they have a hot date after the game for a Friday night. You know, it is a Friday night for the high schoolers, and it's about 8 o'clock, but they're doing their part as Loken with only 32 pitches through 3 innings, Ferrulli with only 34 through 3. And I know, Paul, you appreciate that in the truck when the game moves along quickly, correct? Just no ties, exactly. We don't need what the Wild have been going through with all the overtime games, right? So, and I know the Wild are playing tonight to open their series with the Blackhawks. I'm not sure. Did it start at 7:30, Paul, or 8? Oh, so they're doing their part to get us out of here. So, ooh, right up the gut, right off the pitcher there off of Loken. Ball goes towards shortstop. And what a 1-6-3 put-out, and I'll tell you, what a nice defensive effort for the shortstop that time as Jake Marjanovic at short gets the redirect off the Loken kick, and it goes right to him in a nice throw, and Danielson involved in his 4th straight put-out at first as a nice stretch. We got a little 1-6-3 put-out here. Umpire is going to check and make sure that Loken's okay after that hit off his big leg there. I think that hit him off maybe the calf or the instep. So that was Joey Jaramillo, who was retired on 1 pitch. Nice put out that time. And here's Joe Burnley, 0 for 1 in the game. So both teams having a hard time in game 2, getting the bats going early on. I know the guys had some sandwiches, Jimmy from Jimmy John's, in between games, and hopefully they had some energy drinks. There's a nice cut by Joe. A little late on that fastball. So Burnley, then Lucas Savage on deck, and Greenbush if either one of those two can reach. Here's a nice slow curve again, and I'll tell you, Loken that's been a bread and butter, that slow curve for him. It's along with locating that fastball, that 2-pitch mix has been enough to keep him really in command of the Orioles so far through 3. Just a high pop towards short. That is a mile-high pop into short center field. Looks like Grabowski going to just put the squeeze on that and a quick fix for the 2nd out. And that'll bring up Lucas Savage, who hit that nice double where he beat it out towards right center, made it over to third base, and then tried to score on a comebacker to the mound with 1 out and was thrown out at the plate, and that was really the only scoring chance we've had. So Lucas Savage with the only park hit in this game so far for the senior. Nice slow breaking ball for strike one. He's really relied on that to get ahead a lot, as well as a finishing pitch, and he doesn't hang it at all. So even though it doesn't have an enormous amount of velocity, really polished work. You can see why Irondale is going to be a team to be reckoned with come playoff time, because with Loken as well as Goldsmith and then Grabowski, who we haven't even seen today, I mean, they've got 3 pitchers. If you get into a double elimination format, that you can go to any of those 3 guys and know you're going to get quality work. There's another slow curve, whacked hard to third. Nice put out, and again a 1-2-3 inning on the 5-3 put out that time, as that was a nice put out registered. And Lucas Savage, nice job keeping the hands back, hitting it hard towards third. But that'll take us halfway home here. We're still scoreless. Don't know if you see the nice put out registered there. I believe that was, well, Beeth moved from third to catcher. I think that was, I might be mistaken who's playing third, but I think that's Scotty Black who made that put out. Okay, we'll have to check the number. It's hard sometimes to see, but so we're heading to the bottom of the 4th here, and on for his 6th inning of the game, Kenny Ferrulli. As we mentioned, he pitched 2 innings in game 1 for St. Louis Park. And he did a nice job inducing 2 ground balls that he turned into 2 double plays in the 5th and 6th inning. Only walked 1 batter, did not give up a hit in those. Gave up 1 hit in the first 2 innings, so that was 2 innings with 1 hit, and then he had 1 strikeout and 1 walk. And then for the first 3 innings in this game, Kenny gave up 2 hits in the first with 2 outs, a single and a double, but he was able to keep Danielson and Beeth in check at second and third. Single in the 2nd inning, and then he's retired the last 5 in a row. 3 on fly balls and 2 ground balls to second, to Pat Bordewick. And that brings us to the 4-5-6 hitter. Here's number 3, Beeth, who hit that long double with 2 outs in the 1st inning, but was stranded at second base. So Beeth 1 for 1 officially with a double here in the bottom of the 4th inning. You see the beautiful lab in the background. I see Elizabeth Griffin along with nice attempt at a bunt there. Ferrulli charging from third. Pettit not quite aware and not able to get on that even if he knew where it was. Just a little after 8 o'clock here on this Friday night. Sun trying to set. Actually, it's right at 8 o'clock. So 0-1 is the attempted bunt, peeled foul. There he goes down and away with that fastball. And Kenny will throw that change as well. He really worked a lot with Coach Olson on that. Keeps it 0-2 as a count. Nice. That was almost a knuckle curve, chopped up the middle. Bordewick not able to field that clean. A really tough chance. I'm thinking even if he fielded that clean, he would have had the perfect plan and throw, even have a chance to get him. So I'm not sure if I should call that a single or an error, but I thought it was a great effort. Oh, and he actually overran it a tan. I guess technically we have to give him an error. So I'm not one that likes to give errors ever to the Park guys. But he overran it a tad. So lead off here, and that'll bring up number 26, Loken, doing the job on the hill today for the senior Loken. Up the ladder, steal attempt, throw through. They're going to, short hop attempt, not able to be made that time by Bordewick as the throw tailed just a tad from Pettit. And that stolen base is going to get him down into second base. I thought for just a moment if that throw would have been on base, he would have been out. But because it was a little to the right and it was a short hop attempt, fortunately for the Orioles, Beeth stays at second. Second stolen base of the game, as Livingood also had a steal. And we'll see if Ferrulli can work around that. So an error and then a stolen base. Nobody out in a 2-0 count here. We'll see how Kenny responds to the adversity of having a runner on here. And also that one just popped foul and high. Kenny able to locate and keep that ball down above thigh level. So even though Irondale's got a lot of talented hitters, you got a case where he's been able to induce some grounders and utilize that slow curve to create some off-speed at bats too. Nice pick attempt that time as Borderwick slides behind Beath. Nobody home. Good backup by Burnley in center field. Nice camera work as well over there. Saying hi to Misty Lewis up on the camera there. Hi, Misty. We've had a long day, but she's adorned in her hat and parka, and she's kind of smiling because this game's moving along pretty good, and I bet that doesn't bother her too much. Down and away with that one. Pettit tries to frame it, but that'll push the count to 3-1. Scotty Black on deck. Black on deck. Not Black and Decker, but... Oh, calls a balk here as it looked like Ferrulli did not stop. And the runner from second is sent to third. No pitch because he called the balk before the pitch. Jim Nunn going to come out and make sure he visits with his right-hander, that he understands and that he didn't stop at all. Yeah, not a complete pause or a stop. I don't know if we have that on replay. Watch him come up here. He's going to come up, look for the sign, which is fine. Then he comes up. I am not sure. That was the pitch, wasn't it? I don't know what he called there. Unless he took the sign not on the rubber, that's going to be ball 4 here. The other thing you can call a balk on is if the guy takes the sign from the catcher. If he takes the sign and his back foot is not on the inside of the rubber, in other words, if he takes the sign and then brings his foot in, the only thing I can think of is that might have been what happened because we could not tell from the camera angle. I think a good timeout here too. You got a first and second now, no out. A balk has been called. First real adversity of the game for Ferrulli. He's on his 6th inning of the day already. And no need to panic. It is just the bottom of the 4th. Jimmy's getting an explanation on the balk because I didn't really understand it either because it was definitively, I think that's what's causing him to be upset. I don't think Jim is viewing that as there was a definitive pause. Watch this. Watch on the left of your screen, folks. He looks in, his foot's in the right spot, brings the hands up, he pauses here. He's totally set for a second. Don't have any idea what the balk call is. And I'm just speaking from the heart as somebody who pitched and has a son as a pitcher. There should not have been a balk call. That was a mistake. So, and I don't care if somebody hears that. So first and third, unfortunately, instead of first and second. But either way, there's no out. And most importantly, Jim's got to get the Orioles regrouped here, know what he wants to do with his first and third defense. And first and third defense in baseball plays are probably the most important defensive sequences you have because it's imperative that the middle infielders and the corners know what the play call will be if there's a bunt, if there's a steal attempt, if there's a delay steal. And especially with no out, Coach Peliquin, the head coach for Irondale, has a lot of options here. He's the home team. We'll see Luca's on the grass here. Yeah, Luca playing up on the grass. Danny Foltz playing up as well in front of the runner here, of course, as he would, trying to holding him on. But Luca might be charging here. You're kind of in the middle part of the order, so Scotty Black, who flew to center last time with no out. 0-1 count. They picked him off. We'll see what they do here. Might be a design play. Gets in the rundown. Throw through, Parkin and knock. Yeah, they're going to get the out, and they stole a run here, which is fine. Park got to make sure they get the out here, and indeed they do. So maybe a design play there. You got a low-scoring game, and what happened there is, and we talked about it beforehand, the runner on first was picked off. He might have been picked off intentionally, meaning he might have been told to get picked off. Foltzy going to throw the ball here. He looks over to third. As soon as he throws through to Jaramillo here, Joey's got only a 1/10 of a second to decide whether he wants to make that throw home, and he would not have got the play at home. As soon as Danny threw the ball to Jaramillo down at second, the runner broke, and he had good wheels, and Beath scored. So they made the right read. They might have designed, and if you're Park, you eliminate a guy on the bases. If you can't score a run, no, nice effort by Danny Foltz as he tries to go up, but Scotty Black gonna get a single. So the runner would have scored anyway. So runner on first now with one out, and Foltz just missed that by a tad. You can tell he thinks he should have had that, maybe gone up the ladder, but Danny shouldn't feel bad. You need probably 36-inch vertical to get that flat-footed, and that's pretty difficult. So here's Living Good right on the corner, so nicely done that time. Living Good got the single and stole last time, but was stranded at second base here. Just showing you finally, Irondale able to break through with the error, stolen base, balk call, and then getting the runner caught in a rundown. So definitely an unearned run. Nice job framing that time. That just shows you the subtleties of baseball, how the error was compounded by the stolen base, which was compounded by the imaginary balk call that moved the runner to third. And then they got intentionally, whether it was intentional or not, he got picked off of first, which allowed the runner from third to break as soon as the first baseman Foltz threw the ball to Jaramillo, then he broke to home. So kind of one of the subtle plays in baseball, and officially it was recorded as a 1-3-6-4 putout. 1-3-6-4 if you're scoring at home. Black over there at first. Fruley gonna throw through again. They've stolen twice off Pettit so far, and this is obviously second game of the day. Nordstrom with a little bit stronger arm probably, but Adam with good pitch framing skills as a junior. And he's got a nice open catching stance, so he's ready to pop high and hard out of the crouch. We'll see if Jaramillo, nice lead again by Black. And that one's hit hard to left field. Nobody's gonna field that. And indeed, let's see if Park can hold that. Yeah, indeed they do. Nice speed that time by Greenbush as he stops that and holds it to a single. So a nice piece of hitting that time by Living Good as his line single to left moves Black up to second. So first and second with one out. And Grabowski, who hit a hard fly ball to right field, is up now here. So Grabowski with one down, an unearned run in, 2 hits so far in the inning. And you got 8-9 in the order here. So we'll see. Kenny keeps throwing strikes. He's only walked the one batter. That breaking ball popped high. One of the first times today he might have gotten away with one. He hung that two-seamer about letter high, middle part of the plate, and he just missed that. So that was a mistake Kenny would like to have back, and I think he's making sure him and Adam Pettit are on the same page. And really nicely done that time. So Grabowski peels it off. 0 for 1 as we mentioned on the day. That one high as well. Intentional on the high fastball. 0-2. And now Ferrulli can do whatever he wants here in the fourth. Oh, Freeman on the outside corner. Nice miss pitch there as Pettit sets up down and away. And now he still has the option at 1 or 2 of going with the curve, going with the change, running the two-seamer, maybe going up the ladder, see if he'll chase the high fastball. But Grabowski's an experienced senior. He's been around the block, so. Good crowd on hand here at Keller. A lot of fans coming down from the New Brighton area. It's a shame these two teams aren't going to be in the same conference anymore. So hopefully they can continue. There's a good curveball. Whacked hard, though. It's hitting a little bit high, and he whacked it hard to center, and that's going to plate the second run of the game. His slide through is Scotty Black. Just a slight mistake there. One of the first Kenny's made of the day, that he elevated that curveball about waist high, and Grabowski, as a senior, kept the hands back and the weight back and lined it over Pat Bordewick for a line drive single. So he gets that ball another 6-8 inches down. He's not going to hit that hard nor that effectively, but credit Grabowski for the third hit of the inning, third hit in a row. And indeed, what you've got here is a second run of the inning, 2-0, and Living Good is at second. Grabowski, and just as he always does, though, even with the adversity that he's faced, he takes on Jake Marinovich, the shortstop, and throws a strike one over with a breaking ball here. Still just one down. Nice pick play, good backup, and nice job by the Orioles able to get back there. As one of the coaches for Irondale barking out, almost got picked off, and that wouldn't have been good for Scotty Black. So first and second, one down, 2 runs in. That one chopped to short. Jeremill going to stay down on it. Got one play at first, and he makes a nice, beautifully executed 6-3 putout. And that'll bring up Bookie. Bookie with second and third here and 2 out. Officially, he's come back to them. A nice play by Jeremill. You can see why. He's got such good speed, range, and an arm to play middle infield. And that was an important play because Orioles already had 1 error in the inning, so Frulli will go back to the windup with 2 outs. Slow curve hit up the middle, and Kenny does a nice job staying with it, and he does a nice job working himself out of that with 2 outs. So even though 2 runs score, only 1 run is earned, and officially 2 runs on 3 hits in the air. 2 runs on 3 hits, and a nice job fielding his position as we saw early in the first game. So we'll see if the Orioles can get the bats together, as only 1 run earned out of the 2. So we are through 4 now complete here. We're going to step away just for a minute, if that's okay, Paul. We're going to step away here on Park 16. Stick with us for North Suburban Baseball.
Hi, I'm Betty White, and I'd like you to meet my friend here. This is Red. He's a puppy with a very special job to do. To be a guide dog for someone who is blind. Together they'll travel the world in safety and with confidence. Guide dogs for the blind provide their services free of charge, thanks to the generosity of people like you. Please visit guidedogs.com to learn how to help today.
We are back for the top of the 5th here. 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th on 3 hits, 1 earned run, and the Knights up 2-0 after 4 here. The Orioles with 4, 5, 6 up this inning. 5, 6, 7. Greenbush, Olson, and Foltz have started off. Line score on the game: no runs, 3 hits, and 3 errors for St. Louis Park. Unfortunately, those 2 of those errors helped cause 1 of the unearned runs. Nice strike again as he works ahead of Greenbush, and Loken, who's been nothing but a strike thrower in this game, works ahead of Greeny. Curtis went down looking his first time. Nice curveball. Curtis keeps the hands back, pops it into center field, where Grabowski going to come under and squeeze that. So a nice fly to center that time, and a nicely executed breaking ball. You see, just missed that. Here's Archie Olson, who reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning when the Orioles had their best chance to score after Lucas Savage led the game with a leadoff double. As we mentioned, Archie in the first game, he was 5 for 8 going into the first game, and then he went 1 for 3 in game 1, and his position came around and scored. So Loken again. I apologize. I know Loken is going on to play college baseball. He has not made a decision tonight, starting pitcher, where he's going to play, but he's going to have some options as a strike-throwing right-hander with. And there's Archie Olson, shoots it way deep to left, and there's a spin race out there, and Archie going to wheel towards second and have a stand-up double with 1 out. Tough chance that time, as Archie really squared that up nicely for the Orioles off Loken and hit it hard and deep to left. And unfortunately, with the water out there too, he kind of got spun around a couple times and it went over, just missed his glove. So nice opposite field hard hit that time, and it went over Living Good's head barely. So a little break for the Orioles, and he did hit it hard, and that'll bring up Danny Foltz hitting left-handed again. Danny chopped one up the middle. First game we saw Danny doing nothing but batting right-handed, and he hit a couple hits, and now he's maybe because of he felt good in the cage, he's stroking left-handed. I know I was a switch hitter going through high school, and I loved switch hitting. So you don't see it a lot, but if we can really work on it, and it's a big advantage when the breaking ball breaks into you versus away from you, and that's why people love to switch hits. So see Archie out at second with a normal size lead, 1 down. Fastball away. First batter that I believe it had been 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 in a row had been retired by Loken before the Olsen double. So Olsen giving up only 2 hits on the game officially, both doubles. That one peeled foul as well. Yeah, the Greenbush double in the second. And then also that as a double, I believe only 2 hits officially, although the scoreboard has 3. Only 2 hits officially for Park here in the top of the 5th. Borderwick on deck for the Orioles. Foltz, left-handed stroker. Nice breaking ball, but just misses outside by Loken. Good take by Foltz. One good thing for the Orioles as well, even with this tough pitching they've seen, it's going to prepare them well for the next few weeks of the regular season, and ultimately, nobody's going to go through the North Suburban unscathed. Not with Totino and Benilde, and we mentioned Benilde 10-0 on the season and ranked 6th in the state. Good pitching as well. So full count here, and we'll see if Danny can work his way on here. Orioles down 2-0 here. 1 unearned run and 1 earned one in the bottom of the 4th. That fastball misses, and Foltz works the 1-out walk. So first and second with 1 down, and I'll bring up Borderwick, who grounded to first last time for the sophomore. Patrick, the second baseman, 0 for 3 in game 1. So see if he can get on base here, build his confidence. Tough as a sophomore, too, when you're facing quality pitching, and let alone when it's been a week since you've even played a game outdoors. So in case you just joined us, we mentioned the Orioles we're playing on Friday, May 2nd tonight, and then they've got a doubleheader tomorrow morning at Armstrong. So 4 games within 20 hours. That one chopped hard, and Jim Nunn decided not to go for that in his third base coaching dugout. I would have liked to see him make a move on that ball. He didn't even, I know he's cold, but he's got to get the hand out of the pocket there, especially as the coach. So here's Borderwick, 0-1 the count, 1 down. That one peeled fouled as well. So just as he has all game working ahead in the count, nothing new there as Josh Loken with an 0-2 balance sheet here on the sophomore Borderwick. Loken as well not walked a batter in 4 1/3. Very efficient. He only had 32 pitches through 3 innings. I didn't get his count last inning, but I think it was only 7, so 39 pitches in 4 innings. And he shaves the corner for strike 3 called that time. So just when he needed it, first, second, 1 out, he freezes the Oriole sophomore, and little sophomore pressure that time, and that'll bring up Ferrulli, the starting pitcher, as he attempts to help himself here. Ferrulli grounded to first base. A junior, not a lot of at-bats officially on the season, as he's played some third and, as we mentioned, done some pitching. That one chopped to second base. Little chopper, a little 4-3 put out. And just what Josh Loken needed. He finally got into some trouble with the 1-out double that Olsen got, and then the walk to Foltz. But he gets the backdoor K on the called third strike to Borderwick and records the 4-3 put out on the chopper to Ferrulli. And through 4 1/2, we ride lighter long Officially, St. Louis Park with only 2 hits. I believe that the board is incorrect there. No runs on 2 hits for St. Louis Park. No runs on 2 hits for St. Louis Park, Paul. And I think, yeah, the board's all wrong. Oh, no runs on 2 hits and 2 errors for St. Louis Park. And for the Knights, 2 runs on 5 hits is correct. Now, Ferrulli, yeah, Irondale's had an error. That part is correct, yep. So new hurler, the right-handed senior, Nate Orton, the side-arming swimmer, as I like to call him, member of the swim team for years. Nate, one of the more unusual looks you're going to see in the North Suburban, as he's kind of throws like a Pat Neshek almost, or so I don't know if we get a chance to take a look at him. I'm going to try to pull up his stats on the season. So for Ferrulli, some really nice work. 6 innings on the day. 2 innings in game 1, 4 innings in game 2. Officially, he only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings, which is fantastic. I have a feeling Orton's going to be one of the starters tomorrow in the doubleheader. So just as well, they want to get him some work. Orioles are visiting team. Maybe he wants an inning or two. He's got number 22 on, which, if my baseball history is right, is Roger Clemens' old number, and perhaps Mike Olson's old number. But I know it was Roger Clemens' number, for at least for a while with the Red Sox. So for the senior, Nate Orton on the year. There you take a look at hey, Paulie, it's cool. He's got the Oriole graphic. Paul did not take that picture in his backyard, but indeed, that is a beautiful shot of an Oriole. There you see Nate Orton, the senior, going for strike 1. The side-arming Norton. Got a little bit of work last year as a junior and has increased his velocity a little bit, and you don't see a lot of side armors, and with a lot of right-handed bats in the lineup, might be a good time to try to keep things at 2-0. So a little change of pace that time for Orton. Nate Orton, the right-hander. As we mentioned, a good swimmer. I'm just trying to see if I haven't seen Nate hasn't officially pitched in a varsity game this year, but he pitched in a couple last year. Got a lot of junior Legion time. Hits him right in the knee that time. So one thing, ouch. So Espers, yeah, that's going to be tough to lead off the 5th, as he took that right above the kneecap on the side. No, when you're a side armor, you're very prone to, if your release point gets off just a tad, you're going to throw it inside, and he's still having a really rough time walking that off. Ouch, that would really hurt terribly on the inside of your knee. With a fastball too, Paul. So it's good to see Coach comforting him. He just wants him to walk for now. And now he's trying to see if he can run. Obviously, he's such a great athlete. We saw the catches he made in game 1, and he's got good speed, so they want to keep him in the game. If he's running a little tentative, but he must have told him he's okay, and they're watching him. So as the number 2 hole hitter, he gets on a hit batter, and that'll bring up Danielson, who flew out to short last time. He's 1 for 2 in this game. In 6 at-bats on the day, he's reached base 5 times as the 3-hole hitter for the junior Danielson, who's playing first base in this game. You see a look at the side arming Nate Orton. That'll run in, and that's one of the things that's great about a side armor against right-handed batters is his ball is going to tail down and in towards right-handed batters. So if he starts it on that inside edge, you can get swings and misses on balls that are going to be 4 to 6 inches off the inside of the plate. So here we'll watch Danielson again here, 1-0 to Orton. See, that one runs in again too. And that's probably where they want him to live, on that inner edge. Of course, Danielson's already was hit twice today with pitches in game 1, so that's the last thing he normally would want, but it's still a close enough game that he probably wants to get himself on any way he can. So there's Nate Orton, able to paint that outer edge with a strike. So 2-1. Mentioned his first varsity outing of the year for Nate Orton. Not an easy place to come into. Bottom of the 5th inning in a conference game, 2-0, 2-0 score. Real good team. Obviously, they wouldn't have polished off Park Center 12-0 if they weren't a quality team. I went up and in, no possibility of a throw. And even though Espeth had been hitting the inside of the knee, he had a great jump on that, and Adam Pettit had no chance to hold him there. So Espersen, sorry, I have that name wrong. It's not Espersen. At second after the stolen base. 3-1 count, ball chopped towards second, short. Jaramillo going to bobble it, no throw, and then it's a late throw, and it goes in and over on top of the dugout, or excuse me, on top of the fence. Tough play there. Lucas Savage went right to left. Normally, I think he might have made a move for that, but I'm not sure if Jaramillo called him off. But anyway, then a slight bobble, and then the throw was high. He would have beat it anyway, so unfortunately an E6 on that play, and Danielson reaches. The runner, Espersen, moves over to third on the throw. So you got first and third here on a hit batter and an error. And that'll bring up Michael Beath, who's been on base twice, including a line shot double. And this will be a chance for them to open the floodgates. First and third. Ooh, and he gets hit up and in. So second hit batter out of 3. And that's going to bring Jim Nunn out to the mound. He's got to try to make sure his senior right-hander is feeling comfortable, and also do some thinking about this inning, and indeed that's going to be it. Little short hook for Nate. He might see the mound tomorrow, and he's got to work through that and deal with that. And that'll bring the senior Lucas Savage out. He's going to pitch next, I believe. Yeah, Jake Lucas Savage going to move from third base to the mound. Or is that Andrew Henstein who's going to pitch? Oh, he's bringing in the left-hander Henstein, who also hasn't pitched this year, but they're going to have to use him as the season goes. So bullpen by committee with the way the weather's been. And I'm not sure if Irondale has games tomorrow morning too, but Park's got another doubleheader tomorrow morning. So they have to run 4 more guys out tomorrow. So yeah, they've got a section game against Armstrong as well as another, 2 section games. So what do you do this spring? So here's Andrew Henstein, the junior, there you take a look at the Blue Anchors ballpark up in Alexandria. Special shout out. That's where one of last year's seniors, Ryan Fromm, is going to play this year. I wanted to show that graphic because, yes, indeed, it's 330 feet to center field in Alexandria, and that's a lake in left and center field, an enormous lake. So I'm going to be up there this summer, and Ryan and Nowan Norca, one of the Cooper captains, are playing for the Blue Anchors. That team is where a lot of the Minnesota Blizzard players go that play college ball, and they're coached by that man. Hey, that's a good timing, Paul. I didn't even talk to Paul about this. That's Al Newman, the former Twin who won the 87 and 91 World Series with the Twins, and he's the manager of the team. So I'm kind of excited to go to some games, and even though people I know might have big ERAs this summer with the short porch in center, should be fun to watch the games because the ball should fly out of there. So I think they said it's the shortest dimensions for center field in professional baseball or summer. It's a summer college wood bat league. So here's Henstein, the junior, going to deal it up as he fades away there. Andrew, a good hitter as well, and I know he's worked on toeing the slab in the off season and really loves the game. So sacks full of Knights, and that changeup going to fall down and away here as he's throwing against his cohort on the mound here in an important time of the game, as this is the 5th place hitter Josh Loken, who can really open it up here with a hit. Nice curveball, breaks down, peels it foul. So tough outing for Nate Orton, but he's going to live to pitch another day, probably tomorrow. Couple of hit batters in the inning and an error. And Henstein, nice for him to get. Fastball, tap foul. This might roll fair. They better pick it up quick. So that ball is really kind of a dilemma for the catcher and the pitcher, but possibility that might have rolled fair, and with the bases loaded, everybody's breaking. So a ball and 2 strikes on the count here. And Andrew Henstein, who talk about a tough situation for anybody to enter their first varsity game as a pitcher, let alone bases loaded, nobody out. Tries to crank off that curve a little bit, not able to do so, and that'll put the count at 2-2 for the senior pitcher Loken there. Loken 0 for 1, and that's going to be up and away, and that's going to bring it a full count. So we'll see if Henstein can get one over here. Full count, nobody out. And oh, indeed he does. Full count changeup. I think that was the fastball, but it might have taken a little off. And he gets a huge swing and a miss strikeout for the first out of the 5th inning here. Now here's Scotty Black, who's had a good day, including a single and scored a run in his last at-bat. Also hit one to center field. His first at-bat, bases loaded, only one down, and oh, the 3rd hit batter of the inning, unfortunately for Park. And that's going to be an RBI for Black. And not much you can say there. These kids are, let alone if you're an experienced varsity pitcher, let alone, both Andrew's first outing. So a hit batter on the first offering, plates the first run of the inning, 3rd run of the game. But let's see if Andrew can regroup here, as he's got Livingood, who's 2 for 2 on the game, and bases remain filled. So even though there's one down, just as important of an out, because a hit here could really salt it away. It's 3-0 right now, 3-0. One down in the bottom of the 5th, and that fastball going to fall down and away for ball 1 here. Wouldn't be surprised either if the Orioles run another pitcher or 2 out today as well, because with a doubleheader tomorrow and then another one on Monday? So 2-0 is the count here on Livingood. Just misses inside as well. So 3-0 is the count here. I don't know if we have any other activity in the Park bullpen. But good opportunity for Henstein to get his feet wet here. Tough position to come in with the bases loaded and nobody out. He gets the benefit of an inside corner call on that. It'll make it 3-1 to Livingood. Grabowski on deck, the center fielder. Nice to see Andrew compose himself and go behind the mound here. Still throwing from the stretch with a 3-1 count. Big swing. Doesn't get anything there, but a nice cut, and that'll bring the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And once again, we should tell everybody, these kids started formally practicing on March 17th. So I believe this is the end of the 7th week of practice, or 6th week of 7th week. And they were supposed to start games on April 5th, and we're on May 2nd tonight. So, and this is swing and a miss again as he throws that change, and a nice job to record another strikeout for Henstein. So even though the hit batter produced a run, that run is not attributed to him. And if he can find a way to work through Grabowski here with 2 outs, it'll keep Park with a chance here. So Grabowski 1 for 2 in this game. Andrew doesn't throw exceptionally hard, but he does have a little curve, and he throws a change too. And if he can locate, Grabowski with 1 for 3 in the first game. Now he works ahead 2-0 here. So, and it is really true, a walk is as good as a hit here, because if he can get a walk, it'll produce another run. Hit hard towards first. Nice job by Danny Foltz. And an even better job by that young man, Andrew Henstein, who comes out to what is a nightmare situation. Bases loaded, no out. He does give up 1 run on a hit batter, but he gets 2 strikeouts and a harmless ground to third, and it keeps Park within striking distance at 3-0. So the line complete on Nate Orton, who went no innings and had 2 hit batters. Scotty Black knocked in the only run of the inning with being hit by a bat, but 1 run on no hits that inning. 1 run on no hits, and that'll take us through 5 here. And the score remains 3-0 now. So that was a nice job by really, first varsity outing for the junior Andrew Henstein, and to come out and throw strikes, and let alone when he was behind in the count. I hope that's something that I know he'll always remember that. I hope he'll always remember what a big deal that was to keep his team in the game, and that he kept throwing strikes. Nicely done. So Loken back out for the start of the 6th inning. Park will see if they can get anything offensively. They're back to the top of the order, which is Jason Keller. 3 for 4 in the first game, 0 for 2 in this one. So this would be Keller, Jaramillo, and Burnley. If you're just joining us here and you want to get copies of any of these games today, and Paul, by the way, good work on all the graphics. It's been kind of cool the way you've surprised me with those. Visit parktv.org, and there's live web streaming. You can get the on-demand information, and if you want to get DVDs of each of these games, $10 for 3 or more, or $15 for 1. You just call Paul at that 924-2635 number, 952 area code, and Paul, who's our director and runs everything in the truck. None of these games would occur if Paul wasn't available to be the head director, because there's no one else to do it. And then he spends a lot of time editing, and just all the work he did on those graphics, surprising me. That's been really cool today, Paul. So thanks a lot. It's really made it kind of fun when you're doing a doubleheader, especially to have some video and stuff. So Paul, I don't know if you're knowing that I am appreciative. So here's Jason Keller. Going to start it off. Swings way ahead of the ball and just hits a number towards second base. Took a little off at the Loken delivery that time, and he gets a nice 4-3 put out there. So one down for the top of the 6th. Orioles are the visiting team, so this is the top of the 6th inning. If Park can't get 3 runs either in the 6th or the top of the 7th, that'll be that. So, and we'll see if Joey Jaramillo can get the bat started. Josh Loken, again, the story as Jacob Goldsmith was in the first game, throwing a complete game so far. And as we mentioned, even though this young man hasn't officially signed with a college, he's part of what they call the 3-headed monster that is Irondale starting pitching. I mean, between Loken, Grabowski, and Goldsmith, I would not want to be in Section 5 AAA for the playoffs, because if they get into the losers bracket even, they've got 3 legit starters who can throw the ball and good defense, and eventually, their offense is going to come. So even though they lost to Totino and Benilde earlier, you got to tip your hat to the Knights. And I got to believe they got a good chance with a veteran team. So 1 and count right along at a ball and 2 strikes to Joey, who's made some good plays at short today. He's 0 for 2 officially in this game. And he was 2 for 4 with 2 big hits his last 2 at-bats in Game 1. Another member of the Minnesota Blizzard off-season program who has really benefited. He takes that curveball that was hanging a little bit and keeps the hands back and pushes it foul. So count right along at a ball and 2 strikes here. You just joined us. This is the second game of a doubleheader tonight on Friday, May 2nd. Teams playing a home and both games here, but a home and home series, each team getting a home game, as they had rained out before and with the time crunch of schedules. There's a nice breaking ball. Just misses that time, so nicely executed that time, and a good take by Jaramillo, as that was definitely a finish curve. Finish him off, I should say. That fastball sawed off on the inner hands, a nice piece of hitting by Jaramillo just to keep his hands inside on that and spoil it. Really difficult on a high inside fastball just to make any kind of contact, and Joey kept his hands high through and inside the baseball that time. So 2-2 count to Jaramillo, 1 down. See what Loken chooses to use here. Up and in, and we'll see if Joey can coax a walk. Still anybody's ball game. I mean, even though it's 3-0, the Henstein stopping the bleeding in the bottom of the 5th inning could be important here if Jaramillo can reach and keep things moving. And then what a nice at bat he's had, spoiling ball after ball here. So Joey hitting second in the lineup. As we mentioned, he started all games as a sophomore last year and really was a big contributor, not only defensively, but had some really timely at bats, worked a lot of walks, really good on base percentage, really well thought of, and a great teammate. Ooh, wow, and I think Joey might have thought that was ball 4, but either way, he spotted it right on the corner, and we're going to put up a backwards K there, as that's going to be a strike registered. So 2 down here is, that'll bring up Joe Burnley looking for a hit here. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Big cut that time by Joe. Joe had a nice medium deep fly to center his last time. We mentioned Keller, Jaramillo, and Burnley, the 1, 2, 3 hitters. They're all juniors for Park. They're also joined by Olson as a junior, Borderwick, Ferruli, Henstein. So a lot of junior class participation, which I'll give you an example too. It's, Park had a very senior-oriented team last year, so yes, Burnley played quite a bit and Jaramillo played quite a bit, and Greenbush and Lucas Savage, but those were really the only 4 that saw 5 seniors, actually 6 seniors saw a lot of the field last year for Park on what was a continuation of a really good run for the Park program the last 6-8 years. So 0-2 count here. We'll see what he does to try to finish him off here. And a fastball indeed does it, and Joe Burnley goes down swinging, and a pair of strikeouts added to the Loken arsenal for the game today. Officially, I've got 1, 2, 3, let's see, 4, 5, 6 Ks again in 6 innings so far for him. So 6 Ks to go with the 13 that Goldsmith registered in game 1. And that is impressive, and just as impressive as, again, I got to tell you, 1 walk from Loken, no walks in 7 innings from Goldsmith. I don't know. These guys must have been pitching all fall, winter, and spring. 'Cause if you throw 13 innings and walk 1 guy, irregardless of what season it's in, let alone you haven't played a game in a week, I'm sure the Irondale fans got to be really happy with all the strike throwing. So, and for Andrew Henstein, a chance to get another inning here, as he might be called upon to pitch in one of the games tomorrow for Park. And let's see where we are here. Not a lot of hits, and it's a fast mover. I mean, you got 3 runs on 5 hits, no runs on 2 hits officially for Park. I've only got the 2 doubles is all I show. 2 doubles and a walk. And that has been it for base running. So, and for Henstein, a chance to build on last inning, build his pitch count up a little bit, and if they indeed bring him back tomorrow, got a lot of options tomorrow. Lucas Savage starts, and he can pitch against Armstrong, or Henstein, Jaramillo could pitch more. So really not a worry to play 4 games in a day, because Park does have a lot of arms that throw strikes. So leading off the bottom of the 6 here, and I love playing doubleheaders. I'll tell you, I think they're nuts they don't do it more often regularly, because you get the teams together. Yeah, it's tough on a Friday or a weeknight, but Saturday doubleheaders during high school baseball season make all the sense in the world to me. The kids don't have school, get them together. Yeah, it might take 5 hours, maybe you prep the field, but that's a lot better than, Henstein just misses inside, so that'll run the count to 3-0, and not what he wanted to start this at bat, as this is the leadoff hitter this is the number 9 hitter, Jake Mirjanovic, and he's just going to take ball 4, and indeed, perhaps that is just exactly what the doctor ordered here. For a number 9 hitter, gets a leadoff walk on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring up Ben Bookie, who's had a lot of at-bats today. Grounded out the last 3 times, twice to the pitcher. And then Bookie earlier in game 1 went 1 for 4, so he's 1 for 7 on the game, on the day. But he's had a lot of ground balls and a lot of contact from his leadoff spot, so we'll see how Henstein responds to this. Pettit still catching. Henstein is a lefty. Not a thing he could do there, as it looked like, I'll tell you what, the runner literally broke before Henstein had even hit the set position, so he literally had decided he was stealing and was very lucky that the throw didn't go through over, because he would have, maybe the coaches saw something there about Henstein setup. So steal really on the pitcher that time, and runner on second with nobody out. 1-0, they might even bunt him over here, I wouldn't be surprised. Big lead from Grabowski off a second there. And you can tell he's played a lot of baseball, or excuse me, not Grabowski, but Jake Marjanovic. Marjanovic, the senior, gets some big wheels at second base, and he's got a big lead. So Park's middle infielders are focused on him. Chopper to second, shortstop. Jaramillo with a throw, nice scoop. Oh, what a beautiful scoop by Fultz, and what an out registered. I don't know if it was a bang play if he was out, but what a scoop to save an out that time. Again by Danny Fultz, as Jaramillo throws through and throws hard, but it's a low throw, and the Fultz scoop, indeed he was out by a quarter step. Correct call. So nice job there on the 6-3 put out. Yes, indeed, Marjanovic moves to third, so you got to bring the infield in all the way with 1 out. And here's nice. He's coming. Ball scoots through Pettit's wickets. So 1-0 will be the count here. And again, we're back to Noah Espeseth, the second hole hitter. He got, last at bat, he got plunked on the inside of the knee, and then 2 pitches later, as we thought he was in pain, he immediately stole second base. So 0 for 3 in this game, but we saw him make some great plays in right in the first day. So here's Espeseth. Ooh, kind of goes after that high, I don't know if that was a fastball or if it was a two-seamer, but that'll move the count to a ball and a strike. And there's a curveball hammered to third. Lucas Savage stays down on it. Play at the plate. Oh, and Pettit drops the ball. So Adam Pettit accidentally drops that, and then this guy's going to run all the way through to second. So a nice play by Lucas Savage at third. If we watch the play again, a really tough short hop. Luka comes up clean on the throw. Now I apologize. That throw might have sailed a little bit in towards the runner, and I believe Adam might have been screened on that. So it could have been some bad luck there, as it looked like the throw might have sailed a tad into and the runner running might have blocked the view of Pettit trying to catch that. So really some bad luck on both ends. Nice block that time by Pettit. So my apologies there. I thought Adam had dropped that ball, but indeed it looked like it tailed in and hit off the instep of his inside of his glove. And he might not have even seen the throw, but it was a great play by Luke on the short hop too. So maybe just some bad luck there. So Espeseth reaches on a fielder's choice. That is the 4th run of the game. And technically, this will bring up Danielson again, as we mentioned. He's reached 6 out of the 7 times today. Error last time. There's a change floating away. He's the number 3 hole hitter. He hasn't really launched into one today, but he's got 2 hit at bats, reached on an error. Big, strong junior hitting in the 3 spot for them. 2 balls and a strike from Henstein. Nice curveball, but it's whacked foul. So 2-2. Nice to see Andrew not being willing to throw the off-speed pitches and the change behind in the count. Pettit still looking down, seeing what they're going to signal there. Here's Danielson. Here's a little breaker that goes high, so full boat here. We'll see what they do here. We got a runner down, I should say, runner down on second here, as indeed, I forgot to mention that Esperson made it down to second, and he leans into that one. And I'll tell you what, Danielson shoots that deep to right center, all the way to the fence. Danielson going to knock homer run with a big double to right center. He finally got a chance to swing the lumber the way he wanted, and he unloaded with a massive double to the fence in right center. And you can see why the big young man is hitting third in the Irondale lineup as he cleaned that fastball. Timed it beautifully and hit a line drive to deep right center. So that'll plate the 5th run of the game, 2nd of the inning, give them breathing room, and that'll bring up Beath, who officially in this game has reached all 3 times. Error, hit batter, and double, long double. So 1 for 2 officially. He's hitting cleanup this game. So couple kind of baseball, a small game. I mean, this inning started with a leadoff walk, and then you had a beautiful play by Foltz on the play by a throw over by Jaramillo, and then bad break on the really nice play Luca made. And that one's hit deep into the shoulder. Jaramillo going to go to his right, throw long, throw, beautiful play back to third base. Park trying for the double play. Long throw goes wide. So almost the unusual 6-3-5 double play as Jaramillo had to break to his right. And watch the play here again, folks. He breaks to his right, fields the ball. The runner at second waits to see the throw go through. Nice throw. Foltz, he comes up with a big stretch, and then he comes right back at Luca as they try to get him. So nicely done, even though it didn't work as a double play. And there's a nice stop by Adam Pettit on blocking that ball. Adam's had some good blocks behind home plate there. You can see why they wanted to give him some work behind the dish. So there's a nice change that falls down and away. That'll work the count to a ball and a strike here. And this again is the pitcher, Josh Loken, batting 1-1. Oh, Loken leans into it, line shot, and that's going to plate another run. So Loken helps himself out with a clean line drive single. And then nicely done. And really 2 of the few good knocks early in the game or in the day have been to Danielson and then Loken in the last 3 at bats. So after the nice defensive play made the 2nd out of the inning, and there you see the pitcher, Josh Loken, getting a well-deserved rest. And the pinch runner of the day has to be Isaac Ackerman. I think I've counted 5 times he's been the courtesy runner in the 2 games. So Isaac must have the wheels to steal the bases. They keep sending him out there every. I don't know if he's a sprinter on the track team during the season, but he just plays baseball to run. So Ackerman at first here, 3 in the bottom of the 6th there, and makes the score 6-0. And Scotty Black, who is batting again. Scotty on the day, officially 1 for 2 in this game with a run scored. Henstein going to thrown to the backstop, little wild pitch. And Ackerman going to get down to second as the courtesy runner. And Black going to take that ball in 2 strikes. A couple of good hits given up here, but also some bad luck that Andrew Henstein had, because if Luca, who makes that beautiful play, if that out is registered at the plate on the tag, if that out is registered, and I don't think it was either one of their fault, I think Adam Pettit had a terrible angle to try to catch that ball and then apply a tag, and the ball was tailing into the incoming runner. I just wanted to say that was a great stop by Luca to even make the stop, and a great play by Danny Foltz earlier too. Whoa! Heads up over there in the Irondale on deck circle as Scotty Black almost sent Keith Livengood home with an earful of Rawlings as he lined a foul ball there. So count will ride along at a ball and 2 strikes to Scotty Black. So 6-0 here as the Knights open it up here in the bottom of the 6th with a 3-popper. Couple of good hits. Nice breaking ball, just fouled off there. Nice done by Henstein that time. Don't know if that's his bread and butter put away pitch, but he does a nice job, and he's got a lot of right-handed batters to see, so I can see how between him and Danny Foltz and Kurt Greenbush, all 3 of them are left-handed pitchers. We have not seen Danny or Kurt this year. Love to see some of their work on the hill as well. So, ooh, Henstein get that fought off and hit into center field, and I believe you're going to have another run scored as the ball hit to Keller that time. Momentary bobble, but I think Ackerman would have scored anyway. So there's an RBI for Scotty Black on that single there, And that just keeps the RBIs coming this inning for them. And indeed adds on to the score as well. So that'll plate another run here, as that's the 4th run of the inning. Still 2 down. So Scotty Black with the single, and here's Living Good again. Living Good is 2 for 3 in this game with a pair of singles for the senior. Or excuse me, for the junior. Was hit earlier in last game, so a lot of at-bats today. No matter what, these kids have had 7, 8 at-bats to really see pitching, and that's good too. And they're getting caught up kind of in seeing some live pitching, and hopefully that'll hold true tomorrow and help Park tomorrow when they play 2 section opponents. Tomorrow's games in some manners now are almost more important than the conference games, because Park wanting to get straightened out against Armstrong and South tomorrow as section rivals as they get paired up for seedings. Ooh, I think Andrew thought he had strike 3 there, and he kind of walked to the dugout. But that was called a ball here to Living Good. So ball and 2 strikes. Pettit gonna flash the sign. Black over at first. Big curveball, and that is strike 3. And some bad luck that inning for Andrew Henstein, but some 3 really good hits on a couple of hard singles and a double. And that plated 4 runs. Official line score for the 6th inning. Let me quick tab it up here. It started with a walk, then a stolen base, then a nice play by Danny Foltz on a nice ground ball. So you had a runner on second with 1 out, and then the fielder's choice play. I can't emphasize how important that was. Luca would have cut him down at the plate with Pettit. You would have had 2 outs and a runner on first with nobody scoring. Instead, you had a run in, and then the guy got to second, and then it was a double. Then it was a fielder's choice and a couple of walks, and boom, you got a 4-run inning. So we're at 7-0, but on that inning you had 4 runs on 3 hits. So, and you did have 1 misplay. So we'll see if Park can at least get something going offensively in the second game here. Looks like Luca Savage, Greenbush, and Olson, unless Coach Nunn wants to maybe get an at bat for one of his bench guys as well here in preparation for the doubleheader tomorrow. Ben Gay and Baths might be part of the regimen with a lot of ice today, as you've got really these teams. I believe Park is supposed to play Armstrong at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And if that is correct, unless the time of the game was moved back, the game's at Armstrong. And then they follow that up. Yeah, indeed. Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking at the I apologize. The site got moved because Armstrong. So the doubleheader's at 10 a.m. and noon tomorrow, 12:30 at Van Cleve Park. I'm talking to myself because no one's going to watch this, but until after the fact. But at least they don't have to hop on the bus till 8:30, if that's consolation. But all right, so Luca Savage and Greenbush and Olson, 4, 5, 6. Luca with a double, 1 for 2 in this game as he banged that long double. Good play last inning at third. Good take. And Loken trying to repeat a rare double trifecta for Irondale as he's going for a second complete game of the day for the Knights. 1-1 the count to Luca. Breaking ball inside, going to push it to 2-1. So 2-1 the count to Luca. 2-1 is the count. Loken, the senior right-hander, again, not committed yet to a college, but you can bet he's going somewhere, that's for sure. Got plenty of arm, plenty of breaking ball, good strong base with his body. And you can tell these Irondale kids have really worked out a lot, Loken as well as the Park kids. So, Josh Loken. 2-2 the count. And Luca goes up the ladder, and he goes down for strike 3 there as he went for the high fastball and couldn't catch up to it. So that'll bring up Greenbush 0 for 2. We mentioned Park only officially with 2. I only have officially 2 hits in the game. The scoreboard keeps saying 3, but I got the Luca Savage double and the Archie Olson double, and that's all I have for game 2. Breaking ball just misses to Greenbush. And Curtis hit a fly to center last time. Called out on strikes, looking on a nasty curveball to start his first at bat. But some big time competition Park's facing. So it'll be good for these kids for tomorrow and as they get into more conference action. 2 losses is, I have a feeling, between Benilde, Totino, Irondale, Park, even Cooper's got a good team, that it certainly could be a 3-4 loss season that wins the conference. So even if Park can't come back, the world is not over for the conference race, and I think that's important. These kids are going to be reminded of that because Totino and Benilde got to play again. Benilde beat Totino the first time. I fear for whoever has to play Irondale again, they're going to get a hard game. They both have to play them again. So both Benilde and that's a game we should try to cover, I think, Paul. Awesome, because I realize that Benilde beat him the first time, but this is a pretty senior-laden Irondale team to match up with the senior-laden Benilde team. So should be a good matchup. Big hook just misses. And Paulie, do you know much about, as long as we're talking, do you know much about that Benilde Irondale game when they played before or anything? Or I'm just going to pop it up here as we're talking here. So full count to Greenbush, 1 down. Greeny, he dials into that to deep center, wrong part of the park, maybe. Yeah, Curtis hammers it again, and he had spanked a long home run earlier and had a triple and a 4 doubles, and hit it to the wrong part of the park this time of the night, but he really leaned into it, and you can see why he's such a well-regarded baseball prospect. So you don't often hit line shots like that. And even though that only went about 310 feet, it was really a line drive. So here's Olson again. Archie's got a double on the day and also reached on a fielder's choice for the junior. So 1 out away from another complete game. And 6 strikeouts so far by Loken. He's walked 1, and that's it officially as well. So, up the ladder. So I'm trying to find out a little bit more about that rematch when Irondale and Benilde will play next Friday. As Paul said, we're going to cover the Irondale-Benilde game on 16 on Friday the 9th. Big swing and a miss. Interesting to see who, with Irondale's pitching depth, they got 3 options to go to, whether they go to Grabowski, whether they go to either of these 2 guys. And interesting to see. But they must, looks like they lost 5-1 at home when they played Benilde before. Nice shot by Archie. And just as Curtis leaned into a line shot, Archie just leaned into a line single, and that's his second hit of the game, and he torched that. So now here's Danny Foltz back to the right side. Danny had tried a couple of at-bats left-handed this game with a walk. And Danny will see if he can bring him around. So a couple of good at-bats here with 1 out as Greenbush line drive to center and then the Archie line drive. Hard to get a read, and if you're a baseball fan, really hard for anybody to worry about getting a read on a doubleheader like this because pitching should dominate when you haven't played baseball in a week outdoors. So nice line shot to center. Nice catch that time. So 3 good liners in a row by Park at the end by Greenbush, the single by Olson, and the Foltz liner. It's going to be a complete game. 3-hitter officially is what I have, not a 4-hitter. I have a 3-hitter officially, 2 hits by Olson and 1 hit by Luca. But I'll tell you what, a doubleheader win for the Knights. And I think both these teams should have a lot of respect for each other because they're both, even though the Knights are a more senior-dominated team, both teams have some quality players. And for Park, a lot of good positive things to build on as well, even though that inning that caused the game to go from 3 to 7 was a negative. Andrew Henstein, I thought, did a nice job. The inning before coming in and closing out was a nasty situation. And the score, no runs on 3 hits, and officially I had 4 errors, and the 7, 8, and 1 score not really indicative of the game. So for the Orioles, chance to regroup, get a good night's rest, and get a doubleheader tomorrow as they take the traveling fun show. And Kenny Ferrulli, let's not forget to mention Kenny Ferrulli. I mean, he threw 2 innings in game 1. Through, I believe, 19 pitches, and then the first 4 innings in game 2. And for the junior Ferrulli, officially, I just wanted to say that I had a really nice piece of work by Kenny. He only threw, I believe, even though he came out after, the situation there, I believe he only gave up 2 runs. Only 1 was earned today. So 4 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned. He only gave up 4 hits. And most importantly, after what he did in the first 2 innings, 6 innings of great work today by Ferrulli for the Orioles as well. Don't let that go overshadowed, because even though you saw 2 complete games by the Knights, you're not often going to see 2 kids combined to throw 14 innings thrown against the Orioles today. 1 walk and 19 strikeouts. 20 strikeouts between the 2 pitchers for Irondale. Again, 14 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, 1 walk against a good hitting Park team. So that's all I've got for tonight. Paul, anything you want to add with? All right, that'll do. On behalf of Misty Lewis, high a perch, we finished our doubleheader duty. Thanks for joining us. You want to get a copy of the game, go to ParkTV.org. ParkTV.org. Thanks for joining us here on 16. Have a good night.